A very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to study or get some insight into the French Revolution. What is a revolution? It means change. And what was the condition of France before the French Revolution? A young king, Louis XVI, had just ascended the throne of France. And what did he find? An empty treasury and mounting debts. And from where did these debts come? Well, from the useless wars. 7-year war and then the war in the Americas had rendered the treasury absolutely empty. This period of 10 years, from 1789 to 1799, had far-reaching social, political and cultural influence on the entire world. The revolution overthrew the old order, meaning the monarchy, and established a republic. This violent period of political turmoil finally resulted in France becoming a republic. But before it became a republic, it had to undergo a period of dictatorship under Napoleon Bonaparte. Bonaparte took his ideas and principles to all those countries which he had conquered in Western Europe and elsewhere. The revolution was inspired by many thinkers, liberals and radicals, their ideas of equality, justice and liberty. These thinkers were Rousseau, Locke, Montesquieu. They made a profound impression on the world at large and acted as a catalyst which led to the decline of global monarchies and the growth of republics and liberal democracies. The cause of the revolution: the 7-year war, and the second was the war with Americas. Second, the opulent lifestyle. Now, the French society was divided into three estates. The first estate consisted of the church and the clergy. The second estate was the king and nobility. And the third estate comprised of the rest of the population of France. The king and the clergy, the nobility, paid no taxes, although they owned all the land and all the resources, whereas all the taxes were borne by the third estate. The third estate paid tithe to the church, tally to the nobles, and various other taxes. The opulent lifestyle of the king and clergy and the nobility, they spent carelessly on themselves. The condition of the rest of the population was very miserable. Now, to compound all this trouble came the subsistence crisis. This is a situation where the basic means of livelihood are endangered. Long periods of drought and hail continuously for 20 years. And then the population of France rising from 23 million in 1715 to 28 million in 1789. This put an immense pressure on the resources of France. The farmers could not feed the growing population. Thus the prices of bread rose sharply, but the wages did not go up. The gap between the rich and the poor just widened. Now the third estate comprised not only of the peasants and the working community, but of doctors, lawyers, businessmen who were rich. They were wealthy. They were educated. They believed that no group in the society should be privileged by birth. To top it all, The country was on the brink of bankruptcy. The regime imposed heavy taxes, yet failed to provide any relief. The peasants and the urban poor expressed their desperation by rioting, looting, and striking. What did Louis XVI do? In 1786, his Controller General, Charles Alexander Calonne, proposed a financial solution where universal land tax would be imposed and the first two estates would no longer be exempted. The king could not pass this without the consent of the first two estates, so he called a meeting of the Estate General. An assembly representing all three estates for the first time since 1614. So, on the 5th of May 1789, a meeting of the Estate General was called in the Palace of Versailles. All the estates were asked to bring a list of their grievances to be presented before the king.